City. This is where it all started for me. I was born here. So this is where I come back to my roots to share something special with you guys about the new Z7. I used it in studio. So today I'm going to talk about being in studio, working with mirrorless, and then beyond the studio. So let's get rocking and rolling. Z7 going beyond the studio. All right. First thing I want to say, I had pre-production bodies when I was doing this. So this was early on. But I got a chance to really take it to the paces and work with this camera, and I love it. So before I dive in, fast look. So that's a sneak peek going behind the scenes of my first time using the camera in studio. And I've got to tell you, I really love this camera. So let me first back up when I first started thinking about doing this shoot. Like you guys see, oftentimes you'll see the picture, but you don't get the behind the scenes of how we think about making the picture. Well, I had this idea, and we have ideas, but we're not sure if they're going to work. So I've got to test everything. So I'm back in my place, and I'm testing my ideas. And I have my little test dummy, and I'll play around and test to see if it works. In my mind, it works, but I've got to check it out and see. So I pull out my test dummy, test it right away, pull out my other dummy, and test as well. I had several ideas, and I had to see if they worked. The first one did, second one, not so much. This is why testing is so important before you do a shoot, to get it all out, to work out all the kinks before you get in studio. So I played around with different colors to see what would work on my test dummies first. Then I got my team together and told them the concept. I hired the hair, the makeup, the models. That casting part is very important. I had this idea. I need support around me to all make it happen. It's not just me. It's not just us. It's our team around us that makes it happen. So I had even Mike Corrado actually was on set helping me with my idea. I had a little mirror, and I want to project the light on my subjects. And I want to use gels to add a little color in as well. So we're now in studio with my assistant. We're playing around. I'm telling my assistant exactly how to hold it, because as she moves around, my assistant needs to move the mirror with her. So it's fluid the entire time. It's not just set and she poses. As she's moving, my assistant is also moving as well. Now, this is what I loved about this new Z7. It's amazing in dark situations. The viewfinder is amazing in dark situations. Now, how does this help you? In studio, I want to control my light. So I have everything blocked off. I have black V-flats around to block my light. And oftentimes in the set, it could be very dark. But when I look through my Z7, it's brighter than reality. Now imagine that at a wedding, or shooting outside at night, or even in here. It's brighter than reality, And that helps you composing your image. That helps you get better images. Now, I don't often show pictures straight out of camera. I want them to be polished and all that stuff. But today, I'm gonna show you guys right out of camera. Unretouched, these are the images from the camera. So as I'm shooting, I can also stop and see in my viewfinder because there's EVF, electronic viewfinder. I can see as I want to as I shoot. Now remember, as she's moving around, my assistant is also moving around with her to throw that cast of light. That's a mirror giving the light. The light is actually behind her. As she moves, he moves. We keep changing it. It's very fluid as she moves. So now you're seeing every second. This is right out of camera, and the detail in camera is incredible right away. Now also, I want to talk about the lens I was using. I very often use an 85 or 105 in the studio, some of my two favorite lenses. Until now, there's a brand new 50mm lens that is absolutely incredible. And I use that in studio. Now, I also use my 105 because that's one of my favorite lenses as well. But there's a new adapter. I think they should call that adapter a new name because it doesn't feel like an adapter. It feels like you're just putting another lens on your camera. I can put all my old lenses on my new Z7. And it feels like it's just working like putting another lens on. There's no weird feeling, it's not top heavy, it just works. And that's hard to find. So I go for my 50, throw in my 105, switch back and forth, seamless, easy. My assistant is still right there. I'm not losing time to adjust. It's fluid in the moment, and that's when it works. I change models, go back to my 105. Switch models, go back to the 50. And again, my assistant's right there, moving along with me, getting the images. It's fluid, the way it should be. Simple, easy. When a camera is easy to work with, that means I can focus on my shot and getting the right image. I can switch back and forth from 105 to 50 and not lose a thing. No fumbling around, changing things around. It's seamless, just like you're changing any other lens. Now, let me show you the final results after I cleaned everything up with my new Z7. It's beautiful. It's sharp as it can be. Now, that 50mm lens is what really surprised me. I had no idea how sharp this baby was. I've always loved my 105 because that one is so sharp it will cut you. Guess what? This one is too. The 50mm is an incredible lens. You can go in close on it and see how sharp it is. The colors are amazing. I didn't have to do much tweaking in post besides cleaning up her skin. The colors are there in my files right away. It's easy to see how fun it is to use this camera. And it's light. Sometimes you're shooting on location. Maybe you're doing a wedding or you're walking around. This camera is your D850 in a smaller package. Lightweight and powerful. Imagine shooting anywhere, this light camera, and getting that kind of detail. That kind of sharpness. Anywhere you go. You have no excuse now. You can have your camera everywhere you go, every day. And that's what I'm doing. I love shooting in this camera because I can get this detail. I can also shoot video now. I gotta admit, I was holding back on video. This changes things because it's easy to work with. Video, stills, like that. I love it. I'm using it all the time now. And you're going to see why in a minute, why I take it with me everywhere, not just in studio. The colors pop. Everything comes alive. I can go in as much as I want to because I have the detail, I have the clarity, I've got the color. Imagine having your camera with you everywhere you go, like you have your smartphone. But you have a real camera now with detail, with the megapixels. It's lightweight, and it's Nikon glass. Now, I know you're not always in studio, right? We're out and about, like right now, we're out and about in the world. I want to take you out of studio now. I love being in studio, but I love being outside. Maybe you like hanging out. Like after I shot in LA, I hung out with one of my friends, Boris Kojo, and we're sitting down around watching a game, and the sun came through, this light came through the window. I'm like, oh, wait, look out this window. Snap, again, snap, and it's great stuff. Just having your camera with you everywhere you go. Getting great shots is easy. A friend was performing on the West Side. I took it there. Leon, I go and shoot him as he's performing. Low light situation, no problem. It's dark out night. My viewfinder is brighter than reality. Incredible. Okay. But then I went somewhere else. I wanted to put this camera to the test with the 50 millimeter. Now, this lens is a 1.8 lens, and they said it's sharp, wide open. I want to see for myself. So I went to Afro-Punk Festival in Brooklyn with the 50 millimeter lens, and I shot everything wide open, 1.8. And this is what I got. This day is what made me a believer in this camera and this lens. 1.8, when you shoot this way, it changes the way you see a situation. I could be in the moment and get great images. 1.8, that out of focus background, that bouquet is just amazing. 1.8, 50 millimeters, and it's a Nikon. So I had the ability to go in. I shot the image on the right, pretty like wide, but guess what? I can go in much tighter if I want to. I had the ability to do that with this camera. It was so much fun being out on the streets shooting this lightweight camera. I could be out there all day and night, and I was. My shoulder wasn't hurting, my knees weren't hurting, my back wasn't hurting. It was fun, the way photography should be. 1.8 gives you the ability to focus on your subject in a crowded area and make them the hero. Imagine what this can do to your photography. Imagine the possibilities of shooting wide open and finding the beauty in your shots. I love shooting in studio. Everybody knows that. But I also love being outside on the street shooting. Whether I'm in New York or LA or in Tokyo, I'm walking around. Well, in LA, not so much. But in Tokyo and New York, I'm walking around a lot and getting great stuff. Now, I'm in an Uber on my way to Brooklyn to go to Afro-Punk. And these girls are walking down the street. I'm in the Uber. It stops for a second at the light. I pull up my camera and get a quick shot. And that baby is sharp. I'm in the Uber. I stop, roll down the window, and get a shot in an instant. And it's tack on sharp. Now, people aren't standing still when you're out in the world. They're moving around. And I can still get sharp images as they are moving, shooting at 1.8. That's incredible stuff. Even at night, people are in the moment It's a crowded area, it's a concert. I can pick out one person, focus on them, and make everybody else go away. Imagine that at a wedding, at a portrait session, in New York City. You find your hero and you make them stand out. Even though there are hundreds of people around them, it doesn't matter. You find your hero. Makes your picture stand out. Wide open at night. And that baby is sharp as it can be. Kind of blows you away. It blew me away. But this also blew me away. The focus tracking. Now, if you're in LA, people walk like this. If you're in New York, you guys know, people walk like this. It's a very different thing tracking when somebody's walking like this. That's easy. But in the city, in New York, in Brooklyn, everybody's walking like this. It's moving. How do you track that? And you're kind of nervous about shooting that way also if you're shooting wide open. Well, I put it to the test to see how fast it can track and be in focus at 1.8. So this girl is walking. She's on her way to get inside the concert. I can't stop her and say, can you pose for me? No, she has some place to go. She's moving. So I see her, and she's backlit. Backlit also is harder to get in focus as a moving target. No problem. She's tack sharp, but she's moving. She's still moving, sharp as she can be. 1.8. She's still moving, tack sharp. 1.8. I love this. This blew me away, made me a believer in this camera and this lens. It's incredible. Easy to use, simple, fast, easy. You want to improve your photography? Get a Z7. Get that 50 and watch how it's going to improve your images and how much more fun you are going to have capturing images. I had a ball this day at Afropunk shooting. It's packed with people. I could find that one person in the crowd that I want to focus on them, and make them my hero. It was packed, but I loved it. As she's moving, no problem. No problem. Each and every frame, click, 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 in focus. Try to do that with any other camera. It's hard to do. And you have Nikon glass. So sharp, so amazing. It puts the fun back in photography. And it's lightweight. Now, you're probably wondering, what can I use this Z7 for? What is it good for? Everything from being outside the studio to being in studio. It's an amazing camera. It is a beast. So you can do anything you want to do. What do you shoot? What do you like shooting? You name it. You can do it with this camera. It opens possibilities for you to experiment, to go into other areas and have fun. Now listen, I am known for being in studio and shooting celebrities and fashion and beauty. But I love being on the street also and just shooting people. And now I have a new camera that does that better than ever before. I can walk around all day, all night, and it's no problem. Also, by the way, in studio, I shot from 8 in the morning to 8 in the evening on one battery. And guess what? For those of you who have that D850, it's the same battery. You're not buying a new battery. There's an upgrade to the battery, but it's the same size battery. Incredible stuff. You have the ability to make amazing images anywhere. You don't have to worry about the weight of your camera anymore on your shoulders. No more. It's lightweight. You're shooting outside, you're worrying about your exposure. Guess what? You've got the electronic viewfinder. You can see your images as you're shooting. You want to do a burst and not see? You can do that as well. It's totally up to you. In studio, outside of the studio, walking around the streets. It's lightweight, it's fun, it's easy to use. Now, we have the Z7 here and the Z6 for the first time also. I want you guys to see it for yourself. Play around. Hold it in your hand. Go to the bar. Play around and shoot if you want to. There's a model back there. There's a lot of great stuff that's happening here during PhotoPlus Expo. Get your hands on this camera. It made me a believer. It will make you a believer. It is an incredible beast of a camera. And that 50 is going to shock you. I was the guy who was afraid to use a 50, out in the street and shoot wide open. I'll be honest. Not anymore. It's changed my perspective. It's opened up possibilities for me to shoot in a different way. It will do the same thing for you. Open up ideas for you. Open up opportunities for you. If you've been shooting somewhere where you've been fiddling with your camera, trying to figure out if you had the right shot in the moment, chimping by looking at the back after you shoot your image. No more. It's easy to do with this camera. It's lightweight. So whether you're a big guy like me or you're 100 pounds or 90 pounds, this camera won't be heavy on your shoulder. Whether you're shooting for 1 hour or doing a wedding that's, 20 hours long. Now you've got a great tool that won't let you down. You don't have to have 5,000 batteries with you. You have a great camera. It works anywhere, whatever you want to do. Celebrity portraits, beauty, fashion, street, weddings, you name it, advertising. This is your camera. It made me a believer. It will make you a believer too. Guys, I love this. I'm Matthew Jordan Smith. You can find me on Instagram. Get your hands on this camera. It's going to change things for you. Trust me. Have a great show. Enjoy it. This is the beginning. Get out there. Have fun. Play with the camera. We got great stuff for you to try. Lenses, cameras, Z7, Z6. It's all here for you. Bye, guys. Thank you so much for your time today.